right. So let's play. Welcome everyone to our second ever slightly after lunch session. It's 3:00. I had a late lunch. High tea, the high tea game of Liber Novus, Chapter 6, Part 3, The Best Laid Plans. This is a actual play stream using the Savage World systems set in a homebrewed urban fantasy setting. Man, I said that so well. Like that was this is like I didn't stumble nor nothing. Good for us. So, in this world, there are ghosts and goblins, angels and aliens,
and airwaves.
Yeah, and cute being what we aim for, followed by I don't know. So, and chemical romances. The end. No, and it's
if
one
there
of
are chemical romances, that means there's a Twilight.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, sorry, and 9/11.
I mean, probably.
Sorry,
Man, we just got real.
It's okay. It's
dark.
just that's a jump that I am so curious about, but don't think we should get into right now.
Okay, yeah. After stream, I'll tell you.
After stream, we're on break.
We'll
break.
talk
One
about
of the
a funny causation.
It's fair. So, it's one of those worlds where everything happened the way we thought they did, except in the shadows there was this like other world, right? For the most part, just people trying to beings trying to do their regular life, right? Like the goblin wants to enjoy a bagel and the ghost is trying to pay its taxes. The end.
Oh God, you can't even escape that on death.
No,
Rip.
Nope. Yeah. No. But it's a secret world, and in this world there are several organizations that try to keep the human world and the secret world separate and kind of unknowing of each other. And I mean, well, the goblins and stuff. All right, I'm losing it. They know about humans. But one of these organizations is the 1001, led by the mysterious and seemingly immortal Morrison Lemire, which his organization is devoted to keeping the world interesting, keeping the stories going. And we have two such characters, two agents of the 1001 in this world of the Mysteria. Let's take a minute and introduce them today, starting with Jackie.
Hi, I'm Jackie. I use she, they pronouns, and I am playing Amy Wurs, a Dampier who also uses she, they pronouns.
Okay.
Hello, I am Paxton. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Streffen, a human man, definitely with nothing else weird going on, who also uses he, him pronouns.
A human.
This is the first time that I got to just like blatantly say Dampier.
Because previously we had been keeping that under wraps.
Under
didn't
need to know if you didn't know.
Mummy, right?
Say what?
I'm just making dumb jokes.
Oh, I didn't hear the joke.
Oh, under wraps would suggest mummy, right?
Man, you know what doesn't get enough credit? Mummies. Hold on. We had that whole revitalization of the zombie films and the vampire films and like a little bit of the werewolf films. But man, that Mummy series, that shit slapped. Except for the last one with Jet Li. That one sucked. But the first one, when Arnold Vosloo just yells, Anaxumamoon! That movie is so good.
It's extremely good. The problem is that when they tried to bring it back, they just made it like a generic Tom Cruise film or whatever.
Yeah, they shitted it up.
And I don't think I've ever talked to someone who watched that film and enjoyed it enough to talk about it afterward.
I've never. I refuse to see it, but I haven't seen a Tom Cruise movie since he jumped that couch. So yeah. I've only seen Mission Impossible 2, and then I stopped. Just so you know. Take that. Anaxunamoon. I just like what's the anguish there. Anyway, when last we left off, there's I don't know where the spider went. Everyone, by the way, it's somewhere.
The thread of the spider is ever present
somewhere. In your house, listeners.
Yeah, no, it's in my house.
No, Paxton.
So when last we left off, we discovered that we're digging into Amy's story a little bit. One of the 9 vampire families, this kind of douchebag vampire named Marcus Divine, has stole something or took something that our 2 characters need as part of their job for the organization, for the 1001. And he will only give it back if Amy, who has subsequently turned out to be part of the former vampire clans, goes and tries to break Cordelia Renwick, who is who was the leader, one of the major leaders of a vampire uprising that was put down several years ago, and happens to be Amy, that's Jackie's character's mom. Although
secretly is the titular term there,
Yes.
because literally, like, I could probably count on one hand to the number of people that Amy has told.
Right. And one of them is Amy's partner, Streffen. And so there is Marcus has heard a rumor that Cordelia is alive and being held in prison by another organization called the Bastion, which is kind of like, I think of it as like Mysteria, what's that? Black.
Black Ops.
But like Wagner Group, like it's just like one person's, like mercenary group, like on the mission. They don't work for any particular local governments or anything. And so,
elite militia.
Yes, and so Marcus believes that Cordelia, Amy's mom, is alive and being held, and has tasked Amy and Streffen with breaking in and finding it. They made a blood pack in order to do it, and if Amy doesn't come back with something within a week, she will die. Her head will pop off.
We did roll to get some, like,
you got you don't have to
a slight safety net.
You have to bring back some knowledge. You have to bring back knowledge. Yes, you have to bring back at least knowledge if you're not capable of busting her out. However, there was a kink thrown in the plan, which is...
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Nothing. I was just going to make a joke in poor taste.
Oh, yeah.
Because you said the word busting, and then in the next sentence you said the word kink. The jokes write themselves.
It does.
Well, also head. Like, it's all there.
True. It's all there.
Our poor good Christian stream.
That's why I mark this shit as not for kids when I upload the VOD. Not for kids. Oh yes. When they talk to their bosses about what to do, the second in command, the person they've been talking to a lot with, this character, Mr. Brown, showed up and presented them with a file folder, and inside of the file folder was the picture of Cordelia Renwick having been decapitated on that night, 5-6 years ago. And Mr. Brown said, I was the one who killed Cordelia Renwick. And we're not jumping ahead. We're just picking up exactly there. Yeah. You said you wanted to... Go ahead.
He also was like, I hope you didn't stake your life on this.
Yeah, yes. No, I had to throw that in there. Just as a dig. You said you wanted to make a composure roll, if I remember.
I already did that. I did that last time. We did the fear check, right. And because I didn't crit fail, I was like, I succeeded. And if...
Oh no. What happened? Oh no.
Uh-oh.
We're all good. We're all good. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Oh, that would have been an exciting stream.
Yeah, my power... no, that was my fault.
No GM, we only do, right?
Only goofs from now on. There we go. Sorry. That was just me.
Yeah, I had in my head that if Amy had failed the fear roll, she would have reacted poorly. But if she had failed the fear roll, she would have attacked Brown.
Right.
But she succeeded, so neither of those things came to pass. I have still further decided that anytime she freshly encounters Mr. Brown, I'm going to roll something to not attack him because she's got a lot of big feelings and issues with authority.
Like when she comes out of a shower, like fresh, like
No, I mean like each new interaction.
like when he comes out of the shower. I understand.
Yeah, I guess depends on how upset she gets. She might follow him to his house.
Just waiting,
She's coming out of her cage. We'll see if she's doing just fine.
So you're
gotta get down because I want it all.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's about midnight. Like it's late, early morning, like midnight, 2 a.m. Because you met Marcus Devine in the evening, had your meeting, and then went straight to Amy's apartment, and then went straight from the apartment to the New York lodge, and we're in their like research room. So it's late, and Mr. Brown has shown up. And you're in this, vaulted ceiling, built like leather-bound books all around, very comfortable couches, and yet here you are.
So Amy has not let go of the photo, even though she did technically pass the fear check. She still needs to take a second because this is really fucking big and really fucking scary. So she not quite falls, but that hard sit when you're just like, I need to get into a chair, into the nearest seat, and is just refusing to look at Mr. Brown, I think, from this point forward. Previously he had said something along the lines of, I hope you didn't stake your life on this, and then showed her the photo. And after having her moment of processing, she is going to spit out, what, you think I'm a fucking idiot? Don't answer that.
Mr. Brown says, Mr. Brown also takes a seat in like one of the armchairs that are there and just kind of does a finger steeple, and he says, "Of course not, Amy. I wouldn't dream of that,
motherfucker."
You have reached out to me for a reason. You have filled us in.
Yeah, it felt pertinent. Felt like a big thing.
It is a thing. If for all I know, as far as I know, I have killed Cordelia Renwick. She died by my blade on that night many years ago. It was a necessary thing. However, if Divine somehow thinks that she survived and is being held by the Bastion, well, then that is something that is most concerning.
No confirmation that it's Cordelia. Most that he was able to get is that it is. The captive is a woman of assumed considerable power, considering the intensity of the containment.
Well, there were many female Jesus fucking Christ, Manhattan. There were many NPCs that got away. No, there were in fact many female vampires of considerable power that remain unaccounted for. As you particularly noticed, that was a chaotic time, a few days where reporting was difficult.
Trying to think of what we're doing and what we're doing next.
Absolutely. This just happened hours ago, and it's a kind of an important thing. What was the exact wording of the agreement? Like, or the wording that we're going off of? I guess it doesn't have to be the exact wording
What I
necessarily,
have
but
written down
you know,
is
oh,
quote,
good.
I
You
want
actually
proof
wrote
of
it
the
down.
prisoner, end quote, only if Amelia is unable to get her herself. So if Amy is unable to actually free the prisoner, she needs to bring proof.
But
So the
caveat being, the freeing of the prisoner would spell certain death for you. Not just being difficult, not just being iffy. Certain
No,
death.
it was like if it is an impossible task.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha. And the wording is the prisoner, not free Cordella.
Yeah, because there's no confirmation that it's Cordella. It's assumed it is Cordella.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what I have written down. Ben, if we want to at some point,
that feels about right.
Okay.
Yeah, the prisoner was yes, yes. No, he you know, he's not 100%. Marcus wasn't 100% certain that it was Cordella. He's just convinced.
It's
Okay.
He's just convinced
female
that
leader.
it is. Yes, he's just convinced that it is, because why else would people be throwing such, big power at places? So his idea is that it must be her. But he wasn't going to go out of, but he also, But I do think that there is something that, like, in the spirit of this binding, that it knows whether or not you're just, like, shirking your duty. Like,
oh yeah, no, effort has to be made.
Sure, right? Like, it has to literally be impossible. Like, and not just hard. Like, your brain has to actually think like it's important. It can read your heart, much like Celine Dion.
Yeah.
She knows what's in your heart. It's all coming back to you
It
now.
listens to your heart.
Oh, isn't that
coming for you? Yeah.
Isn't that Roxette?
There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why, but listen to your heart before you tell him goodbye.
God, I love Roxette. I bought the Super Mario Mother, like the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo soundtrack just for Almost Unreal by them. But that's neither here nor there. I have it on cassette. And hold on, just to break character for a minute. And this is not like Mr. Brown tell you. I didn't buy it from the store when it was out. I bought it on fucking eBay because I really want it. Anyway.
Mr. Brown launches into a story about his purchasing habits.
Mr. Brown's like, I fucking love turn of the century Europop. It's my jam. So he's still.
I have a personal assistant who just stares at eBay all day.
Someday, someday a original aquarium tour T-shirt will come up, and I will own it, and I will wear it around my house while singing "Lollipop" Candyman. No, recentering. Please. Yeah. So he's sitting there watching you. What do you want from him? If anything, do you want him to go? Or is your job done? He's a particularly powerful person. Ooh, that was a lot of P's. And this may be an opportunity with which to do something.
That was delightful. I don't want to blaze past how delightful that was.
Absolutely.
What, all the P's?
And that in your reaction was just great.
It was good. Streffen stands up and leans side to side to stretch his hips, and he taps his cane on the floor and he says, if you we did enter an agreement to do this. And there is we have some ability to we haven't staked our lives necessarily on our ability to free whatever prisoner exists, but we are required to do everything we can to determine if a prisoner exists and if it is possible for us to free them.
A lot of we.
A
There's
lot
a lot
of
of we in there, Streffen.
where I go, or where you go, I go.
Yeah, but it's my blood on the contract, not yours.
And I would definitely survive a day without you at my back.
Oh, I love the two of you.
Absolutely.
You both can take a Benny. Oh, how
Oh,
nice you guys.
that's right. We have bennies.
You
I
guys,
should have those
you
out.
guys are so nice to each other. What a good relationship. Oh, little cuteness right there. Although Streffen did just man, Streffen cannot keep his foot out of his mouth because he did just mention a contract, a blood, and you were like, oh, a blood, and Mr. Brown leans forward and goes, "You entered into a blood contract?"
I don't remember
I didn't use those words. I said we had an agreement.
But then
I don't remember what specifically Amy told them in the text last time. So I don't remember if she mentioned the contractual obligation. Oh. I feel like she might have, but she might not have explicitly said that it was magical in nature. Oh. Amy's not in a position to hide any of this information because she knows how dangerous the situation is. Right. So this isn't one of those spots where it's like, Streffen, you said a thing. Like she's fine with this information being out there. She would have kept her mouth shut if she needed to. Oh.
Well, you just said it's my blood on the contract.
Yeah, and he's allowed to react how he likes. I just want to be clear. Amy's not bothered by this being known.
And he stops and he goes, was that metaphorical blood wars, or are we talking an actual blood contract?
Trying to decide how spicy she's going to be. My gut says yes, very spicy.
Go with your gut.
Do it.
Do it.
Let your anger flow through you.
He steps back. Oh no!
No, that's right. I don't need you to get up on my case about what I did, what I chose to do, all right? You weren't there, you don't know the situation. Which is basically confirmation that, yes. It's a literal magical blood contract.
Yes, yes, he's not a fool. And he goes,
well,
well, he's kind of an asshole, but he's not a fool. Like, you say potato, I say Jackie's laptop.
Rude.
Wow.
But he goes, he pinches the bridge of his nose, and he goes, all right, wars. It is important, and he doesn't say it with the same mouthfeel that Divine was a little while ago, where he's like feeling it out. He just says, "Okay, wars. What exactly are you supposed to do? Because it feels like very vital information is now that we need." Is at stake on this mission going well. And your life.
Jackie's going to need the spark notes of that question because I got a little muddled in the phrasing.
So
I'm so sorry.
He says, basically it's what do you need from him and the 1001? Because they need the snuffle notes, and he sort of threw in at the end, I'd rather you be alive than dead, sort of.
How touching.
At least in general. Maybe not right now, but in general.
You have proven yourself to be valuable.
I'd hope so. That's what got me in the fucking door, right?
Kabam.
Yeah, she's got the most petulant, don't fucking talk to me kind of look on her face. Like that tends to be like her default expression, but it's just extra sour today. You want to help me? Okay. Convince the Bastion to let me meet this prisoner and extract them. That would help me.
Oh, how petulant.
Petulant enough that it would require a roll if needed, unless that is Brown's response of how petulant.
No, that is what he says, actually.
I mean, what is it? Outsider plus
Yeah.
Rebellious.
Rebellious.
And also unlikely. If the Bastion has been keeping a particularly powerful member of the vampire clans a secret from us since that evening, it's quite concerning based on the agreement that we had concerning that operation.
Now you're understanding why I roped you into this information circle.
Yes. Quite the lasso.
It's Mr. Brown feeling, yeehaw.
Well, Blur Cat.
Suki played a piano.
Womp, womp, womp. And Mr. Brown says, so what is are you actually hoping that he's going to go to bat for you and try to like get you in? Is that like a real thing you want?
If he's able to do it, that would be great. But like, Amy is not holding any hope for it to happen. He asked what she needed. That's what she needs.
Why don't you give? Why don't you get no? No. Why don't you give me a persuasion roll at? Like he doesn't like you a lot right now. Like a
feelings mutual, bitch.
A total of like a -8 or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a -8 feels about right. Like he's
in addition to my normal stuff.
That factoring in the normal stuff.
What's your normal?
So I have the outsider hindrance, which is a -2 to persuasion. I have the rebellious hindrance, which is a -2 to persuasion to any person in a position of authority, which this absolutely applies. So a lot of the time, my default persuasion rolls are at a -4. I am also currently fatigued, so right now it's at a total -5 before any additional penalties.
You know what? I'll just.
I made a character that's bad at talking but likes to open her mouth.
I'll give you an additional -3. Yeah, fuck it. -8.
Oh yeah.
Let's just say that feels like
fucking go.
His he doesn't like you that much, so his personality, like he is. We'll just throw in the -3 because he's annoyed.
Because
one is a standard I don't like you -1, and the other two are because of the situation.
I would love to assist here
Sure.
if there's room for Streffen to get in a word or two.
Yeah, Streffen. I would love Streffen to get a word in or two.
Streffen.
You've been doing research. Maybe you're just like, we know this and this and this and this, and that could be like easing the way of it or something.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably just going to include the fact that hold on, I needed to get Streffen's recently acquired rasp in. Nothing in the contract requires that this prisoner stays free.
That's fair.
Gotta love having somebody who's like
not a dummy. Yes, I love it. Yeah.
I got a D8 smarts. Eat my ass.
Yeah, same.
My smarts and strength are higher than my agility. All right, like
fair enough. Not a charisma dummy. A charisma dummy.
So
I should put some more stuff in my persuasion. So my assistance, I'm rolling persuasion. I have a -1 to my persuasion rolls. A total of a -2 persuasion to my rolls.
Yeah.
Why?
Yes, because I have the bloodshot eye and the raspy throat.
Right. God, is the raspy throat still going? How long does that last?
I think
It's like a month.
Yeah.
Has it been? It's been a month since Arizona.
I
Just
don't
about.
remember how long it was.
It's been
Like,
like
'cause-
3 weeks. You got like one more week of
Okay.
rasp voice.
It's
I
clearing
feel
up,
like
but
it's
like
been a turn.
when I'm under stress and I've been awake for 20 hours,
Yeah.
it acts up.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, ace on my wild die. That's a total of an 8. Aced into a 4, -2. That's 6,
So
4.
that's a +2 to my roll.
Yep. So you're
Or
only
is
at a
this
-6.
Sorry, I did not need to get distracted on that. So thank you.
Anything
Now
to
I will fail slightly less.
hey, you might really blow this up.
Maybe.
Blow
Maybe.
it up.
Blow.
Okay. It's a 1 and the 2 on the die.
Oh
No!
I'm gonna spend a friend Benny to the friendship Benny to re-roll this, and that is the only Benny that I'm spending on this because and here's my reasoning. Amy doesn't give two shits what Mr. Brown thinks right now. And she's only putting in a little more effort because Streffen just tried to help.
Oh, that's so nice. That's a lovely
Friendship bennies.
We call them Frenchies.
Hey, my D4 aced twice
Ooh la la.
into a 2, which is a 10, -6 is a 4.
Oh, that's so lovely.
It's a penny well spent, Jesus
We
Christ.
did it.
We
Boissimo.
did it.
Huzzah!
Yes.
Yay. We did it.
So he looks at you and he goes, "Yeah, that's right. He meows. How did you know, Suki?
Catboy Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Mr.
Chat,
Brown just be
get
like,
on
Nyan.
your chat, get on your
Yeah.
your fan art. I want to see Catboy Mr. Brown doing the caramel dance and dance.
Yep. He takes off the bowler he's always wearing, and underneath are
Are
tiny
cat
cat ears.
Oh, does he got like Scottish fold ears, so they're
Yeah.
they're not sticking up as much?
Or they could be gosh, what's the other one?
That's not true, by the way.
Where they're folded the other way.
Oh, that one makes me sad. Scottish folds are cute.
He definitely does.
Yeah,
Well,
but they also
The
are
health
more prone
complications
to,
with it makes me sad, regardless. But yeah,
He is definitely
Not the point.
He's taken his ear. No, he has taken his ears off before. He's taken his hat off before, and he doesn't because he's a gentleman. He doesn't wear his hat indoors.
American curl.
yeah. I was gonna say like his hat's on the hat rack in the
Yes,
room. He took
yes,
it off.
yes. But he does not. Yeah, that's why every lodge comes with a hat rack because Mr. Brown needs a place to hang it.
It is only polite.
No, he looks
yeah,
at, and he goes, I don't think that I would be able to pull that as without giving them something else. And as much and as important as finding if Cordelia Renwick is alive, the chance is too great. And also, I am fairly certain she is dead. So, I do not think I can demand prisonering. That's not what he was prisonering. Get the fuck out, Manhattan.
Prisonering.
I do
A
not
prisoner
think I can.
exchange.
Yeah, I do not think I can demand some form of
Extradition.
yes, extradition or.
Sorry, I'm saying words
Yeah,
over you. I
No
apologize.
worries. Or even meeting this person because, frankly, we aren't supposed to have this information. And while we do look in on each other, we are not supposed to. So, It's like the spy agencies of the human world. So, but this is not to say that we are not without resources. And so, what I will ask you to do is what have you narrowed down as a possibility of where you think she is held?
Most likely the Central Park facility, or and whose details Ben didn't care enough to talk about.
No, that's not what I said.
No, that was my editorializing in my notes.
No, there were a number of other black sites located throughout the that they may have used, like one or two other black sites. But no, the Central Park one was the one that you thought mostly about.
That was most likely.
So he goes, I can see about perhaps narrowing down this list. If it is the Central Park agency, I may that may be difficult. Or if it is the Central Park facility, that may be difficult, but we may have some ways. And so he says, go get some rest, and when we wait for me to say, I don't know, I may be able to help you. But that is all. But the two of you need to be very, very careful. I need not remind either of you that your what did he say? Your employment here is not actually known. So, and so he says, so which is the other reason that I can't just say, please let two of my agents in. You all are disavowable. My own little impossible mission force.
Are the movies called Mission Impossible?
Yes, but they work for the IMF, not the International Monetary Fund. Have you not seen the movies? That's not what. That's just Ben Hatton. That's
no, I don't. I don't give two shits about Tom Cruise.
He's
I'm not an action movie person. I like the classics.
It was based on a 1960s television show starring Martin Landau. You should get your head in the game, Miss Ward. No, that's not. That's just Ben Hatton. Get your shit together. The first one was quite good, but mostly because of Ving Rhames.
Mr. Brown is secretly a cinemaphile.
Just like Michael Bolton.
I'm still catching up on this decade's cinema, but I am more. I enjoyed the Bourne Identity series much better.
Ah, yes. Julia Stiles.
I am so sorry. I got a phone call in the middle of that, so I missed a good portion of what he said. No. I would not have answered if it was not important.
I believe you.
I also believe that it wasn't important.
Oh, waka waka face.
Oh, okay.
He said that he is going to narrow down where the options, and that he might be able to give you more intel on this actual
Potential prisoner.
no, not on the prisoner, but where it's being held and
Okay.
and other things. But that, remember, he can't just say like,
Yeah. Okay.
let these people
Hmm.
in. Mostly because
Yeah.
you didn't get enough raises, but that's not your fault.
No.
No,
This is
we
still
got
good,
enough
and
for
I
a barely
appreciate it. I
like.
just
I
wanted
guess I'll
to.
do a
Yeah.
little to help.
And he basically said, "Go sleep." This is what he said.
I want to say I feel like the obligation to accept is because we are 1001, not because it's Amy or anything. Like Amy
No.
was not convincing. It is literally his own obligation and duty to the
Right.
group to be like, yeah, I guess I'll try something.
And like, if we're being honest, like the snuffle papers depend on these.
Yeah,
So
they
Yeah.
do.
so
They
That's why
sure
we
do.
were willing to do it.
But here's the other contingency that Amy has thought about but has not expressed. Now they know where the papers are at. So even if this doesn't fly and something does happen to Amy, they can send in somebody to obtain them.
sure, that makes sense.
Oh, I have
Or
I have
they could
some
potentially
ideas in
send
that direction.
somebody in to obtain it anyways, and then when he's not able to produce his half, he dies. Win-win.
Win-win.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, he may have thought about
Fuck
this a
Marcus
little bit.
Divine.
So, I think because now I need to think about what he's going to give you because I was not expecting a roll like that. We're you're
Neither
gonna,
was I.
and we're almost at our first hour. Why don't
Oh,
we
perfect.
take a 5-minute break or 10? I'm gonna go look now. There's some less people in my house, so I'm gonna feel like I can go look for my cord. And
We would just want to take the break proper instead of a quick 5 minute.
yeah, let's take a real. Let's take a proper 10 minutos.
Yes.
10 minutes.
Kitty paw.
Honk,
Why
honk.
not?
10 kitty paws.
10 minutes.
Neon.
Meow meow hat. Meow meow. Yep, just a dude takes off his bowler hat and is and there's a bait and there are cat hands not under his yuck. All right, goodbye. We'll be back. It's a
So
little
we were told to go home.
yeah. You were told to go home. Go home. Well,
Right.
you don't have to go home. It's just early in
Go
the morning.
home, buddy. I work alone.
Yes. Yeah, that'll never backfire. And then he shows up as Syndrome 30 years from now.
You're not affiliated with me.
Yeah, he said get some sleep to avoid another fatigue wade, or perhaps to get rid of a level of fatigued.
Mm,
Well, to be fair, this fatigue is
fair.
from the hospital.
It's true.
gosh, it's been such a long day.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
You're telling me.
I am.
No, the hospital was the day before. I think, yeah, the hospital was
It's been
Saturday.
such a long weekend.
Yeah, it's such a long weekend.
I don't think Amy slept is the thing.
No, I don't.
And that's
think
why
so.
I got the fatigue with.
Yeah.
Anyways, doesn't matter. Point being,
He told you to go home.
Told us to go home. Streffen is the reason we're there because Streffen is doing research. So when Streffen is ready to
right.
leave, then Amy will leave.
Right. I have already gotten a dive result. I have checked and gotten a result for that research. And
there is something Amy might ask him to look into. So if Mr. Brown leaves the room, she will ask then, but not beforehand.
He will, take his leave, and that's actually what he says. Like, allow me to take my leave of you. I also could use some sleep.
Yeah. And he stands up and he puts on his hat. He says, "Go home."
Yeah. I mean, he just actually, now that he's in New York, he's going to sleep at the lodge. So he just goes upstairs to one of the rooms.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And goes to sleep. It's not like you're in like the library, but he does.
That's the point. We could sleep here.
You both could sleep there if you wanted to. It's true.
Okay.
Good.
I keep cutting people off. I'm so sorry.
Me too.
Me 3? So,
but yeah, we established that he left.
yeah, he's left the room. Yes, to go to sleep.
Okay.
It's late.
Okay. Well. Oh God. What's the plan? Um. Hmm. You said that you were thinking about asking Strephon a thing.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to figure out how she would get into it.
Gotcha.
She is still noticeably holding the photo. She's not
Hmm.
looking at it, but she still has it in her hand. I know it's late. I'm sure you're tired, and you've already done a lot of reading. But would you mind looking up one more thing before we call it for the night?
Absolutely.
I
What?
haven't really. Feels like something I should fucking know, but I never really had the interest in diving into it. This photo is very clearly her. And if Divine is right, that either means this was an extremely good glamour of some sort, or they somehow resurrected her. I don't expect that they would have just left the bodies.
Hmm.
The thorough thing to do would be to burn them. So, I guess what I'm asking you is, can you find an answer to either of those? Maybe not for this particular situation, but I don't know what kind of power could have done a glamour like that, or what circumstances in which somebody who can get put together again.
Hmm. I can. There are some things I can do. At least one kind of search I can run from here. First off, may I see the photo?
I think she only just now realizes that she's still holding it and then passes it to him.
Hmm. Nice,
Oh,
nice.
that's sad.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah.
All right, now I need a GIF, of like you being like this, like try like a rainbow comes with your hand,
like the
SpongeBob
imagination,
trauma.
but it
and it
says
just says
trauma.
trauma in a rainbow. Like I really need. I don't
I
have
feel
those
like-
skills to make that, but whoop.
I bet it exists.
Yeah, but it's not as
Here,
funny.
you do your roll thing. I'm gonna look for it.
It's not as funny if Jackie does it. I mean, if it's not Jackie.
Oh, I mean, I got a SpongeBob one. Anyway, Ben Hatton.
Yeah. Oh yes.
I would like. First off, I'd like to try to identify the location where this photo was taken.
Oh, that is sure. Go ahead. It's
What kind of role is that? Like a notice or a common knowledge or a?
He's not in this game.
Oh, jeez. Like
A
that's like
notice roll is just a unarmed fighting.
Yeah, that's right. You can make like I guess it'd be a common knowledge, but it's at like I can't even like it's not. It may be downright impossible without some form of Benny spend just to like make the roll. Like
I'm willing to do that.
To make sure that there's some identifiable
Right,
something
like-
or other in
because
it.
this is very much close to just like post-fight, like crime scene photo. Like so, you would have to
Mhm.
like really need to take. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
would have to like.
Like- If I spend a Benny to establish a fact in the story that I have been to this place before, so it is possible for me to recognize it.
I would accept that.
Would he though? Like,
No, but I would accept the. If he makes the roll, I will. I know what I will do. If that makes any sense.
okay,
I know.
okay. If you got a plan, you got a plan.
I
I was
have
just with my my knowledge. I'm like, I don't know if that's possible, but If you got a plan, you got a plan, and I'm down.
I have a plan that if you make a roll, and in fact, what I need a real roll. So can you tell me? I need not a fake roll. It's not common knowledge. What
Okay.
Don't you have a cult? Don't you have a cult?
I do have a cult, and my occult is much better than my common knowledge.
Well, then go back to common. No. Take that.
Fuck you.
I'm going to what I am going to ask you to do is it's going to be an occult at minus. You spend a penny, so I'm going to say -4 as opposed to the -6 that I was originally implied, because I do like the rewarding of spending bennies to change. So that's what I'll do. It will be a but yeah, that's what I'll say.
Excellent. So with my occult scholar edge, I get a +2, so that means this roll is at a net -2.
Curses, I forgot about that. Fine, take it down to 9 and 6. No.
It's like when playing Fantasy Flight game, Star Wars RPG, and it's just like, yeah, I'll impose a black die in this. Well, I've got this to get rid of that black die.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I got a 6 on my D8. -2, that is a 4.
Oh, all right. Well done, Paxton. Well
Yes.
done. Well done, Stratton.
You solved my photo memory puzzle test.
I solved your riddle, Puzzle Master. The Minotaurs escaped, and you're gonna get the horn.
So no, what you were in the service of your former, boss, quote unquote, for a while, right? Like that, like for several decades, and
more decades than most humans live.
Yeah, totally, so many decades. And what you do realize is there, and in some ways, it actually it doesn't help you, like. When you think about, like, you have a hard time, I think, recognizing like building names still. You're constantly referring to restaurants that don't exist anymore, because like that's the sort of, you're like, hey, we should go over to Mickey's Diner, and everyone's like, that place closed like 60 years ago.
That place hasn't existed for 60 years.
Right.
The other day, I tried to buy a newspaper for a dime.
Yeah, and they were like, what is this? Oh God, you're constantly You're like, I'll just take the blue plate special, and you're like, when did soda become $2? And in my day,
why doesn't it have cocaine in it anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ! Streppin taking a chug of soda, being like, "I don't make it like they used to."
You're constantly just referring laudanum to people when you're trying to like.
Your head hurts. Why don't you take some laudanum real quick?
That'll
help.
Have some opium. No, I mean so there is. But one thing that it has allowed you to do is become very aware of, and quite good at looking and recognizing geologically stable things, like a circle of trees, like a specific unmoving rock formation, etc. Especially as we've already established the fact that there was a ceremony that was being done on the smaller ley line nodes of New York, and that Cordella, was overseeing one of the rituals. And you are particularly good, because the Fae used those ley lines at different times, at knowing them. And so I don't think very many people would be able to have spotted this. But there is I can never figure out how to pronounce. Is it a copse of trees? A corpse? Is that how the word is pronounced? I'm an English teacher, and I should know how to say copse. Is it like KOPSE?
It's
a copse of trees?
It's spelled like corpse, isn't it? Just maybe
COPSE.
Yeah. How do you say it, the internet?
It comes from Coppice.
Goddamn Latin.
Yeah, it's just cops.
Abcat.
Fucking pigotries.
Pigotries. Whoop whoop. Here come those blueberry and cherry trees. No.
A
Yes.
tab.
Yep.
Um,
Yes, there's a cop.
Yay,
Jesus, all trees are bastards. That's what got us into the climate problem in the first place. Americans hating trees. God damn it. Anyway, yes, a cop's there. Yeah, there's like, you're like, wait a second. You know, the angle is on her body, but her body is like on the side of like a mountain, like a hill somewhere.
mhm.
And so you're like, I know that hill. I know those trees in the background. There is a small park on where there is a relatively weaker. It's not the main New York node, but it was, you know, if you cross reference it with situations like where there was fighting done on that evening, and I think
Mhm.
those particular uh, um, files are not super redacted. I
Mhm.
think of Morrison Lemire being the type of person who really likes information being out there. So the only reason he would keep stuff from there is if it's like it'll corrupt
Like a
people.
safety concern.
Yeah, and this is not that sort of concern. And so I do think that there was a a small little park with a little hill and some trees in it on the the southeast part of the island. You're like, I'm pretty certain that's where this went down, and then when you cross reference it against the records, there was a note of a joint exercise between, or a joint like raid between the Bastion and the 1001 at that particular location.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So from there, gosh, do I want to go into more clerical investigation or jump straight to trying to go mystical?
Wow.
If I can roll a research just to get information about the people involved in that battle,
Sure.
like if there are personnel lists that could lead me to, would there be someone possible on site who could make a glamour like that strong enough to fool Mr. Brown, or perhaps just strong enough to I mean, he could have been lying to us, maybe. But anyway,
These are my eyebrows of mystery rather than my eyebrows of you figured it out. Just so you know, it's like,
yes, I.
They're like, I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Quick
Maybe
research
it's Maybelline.
roll. That is a 5.
So a 5. Okay, with a 5, I think you managed to bring up you do discover the fact that like Mr. Brown was there. And that was one of the missions that he led, and he led a number of them throughout that evening, but that was one of the ones that he was part of. And there is there were 3 other agents who were 3 other whatchamacallit, 1001 agents that were present at that time, and they have their numbers and their names, and then there is a list that there were at least probably another a dozen Bastion members. Although you have to understand that like most Bastion members are just like really well trained people. They don't they tend to be more as I've said, they tend to be a little more like pro human, Maybe some of them could sling magic and stuff, but they're
It's probably cheaper to give a bunch of professional soldiers like blessed ammunition
exactly.
than it is to train specifically supernatural soldiers.
Totally, it's true, right? They do. They have their almost monastery like fortresses that are very good at just like churning out creature killing weapons, runes and etching and stuff. And so that is very true. Sort of the way to think of like Shield almost, right? They're like all over the world. They're pretty prolific, but also there's only like 7 Avengers or whatever. And but you don't recognize any with a 5. You don't recognize any of the names that's from the Bastion that they have listed. You don't recognize, like, there's no list of known powers. It's like not, there's no roster there or breakdown thing like that. So you by looking at this, you wouldn't know. Now, do you just generally know that they're like, and when Amy did ask you that question, like who could bring someone back, who could do that, like there's not like an individual in your mind that could do it, but there are certainly dozens of really powerful beings, right? Like in the world. You could be like, well, if there's, if an errant life god came by, or if there was, it's certainly not impossible. There are certainly rituals that can do it, creatures that can do it. Whether,
or like,
go ahead.
Or like a really powerful fae could have made a glamour to make everybody think that Cordella had died.
Totally. You don't. Yeah. I mean, you don't know if, yes, that's certainly possible. You yourselves have just recently been fighting with TikTok's reanimated zombie creatures. So, it's not like those things. Now, obviously, those were just human fleshes that had been like grafted. So you're probably not thinking like total fleshes.
It's not the same person. It is a new thing.
Exactly.
From the old thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, there are probably things out there that could do it and bring back the real thing, but there is nothing in your mind, like, I'm trying to how to put this. Those things being active to the purpose of bringing Cordella back to life would be a lot bigger deal, if that makes sense. Right? Like, if Zeus comes by and he's like, hey, or Hades comes up and he's like, I'm bringing this vampire lady back to life.
Like this
people
very
would
powerful
know. There'd be a bigger deal than
coming back to life specifically in order to be imprisoned.
Yes. Right, the Bastion would definitely have had to strike another deal with something if so. I can just say that.
Yeah,
and you haven't heard of those. Neither of you have heard of someone of that level operating around.
Yeah, absolutely. So after doing some searching and some thinking, Streffen says, there's nothing concrete. It's like theoretically possible, but I think I know where this is. And after we get some sleep, if we could go by there, and I can try to take a look through time really fast. No, I can't promise that I'll see anything useful, but it might offer some insight.
I don't think she says much. I think she just nods.
So does Amy go back to her apartment? Do they both go back to Amy's apartment? Do they sleep at the lodge?
That is a very good question. we each have such specific dietary needs.
True.
I think Amy's has a bit more flexibility to it than Streffen's because I don't need a specific source, just a specific substance. And I'd like, Streffen, are you tied to like you have to go to the same baker every time kind of thing, or is it just like it
No,
needs to
it's
be
okay.
okay.
It needs to be Fey food. Like
Okay.
it has to be whatever food made with their specific glamours or whatever.
It would math to me that the lodges would include those kinds of resources if needed, right? With
Yeah.
the kind of people that they would hire in and everything.
Yeah. I mean, my guess is they actually have there is a better chance that they have just like some Fey food hanging around more because it is less taboo to have like some Fey.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of beef going on with Amy
Right.
shit. So
they've got a freaking like employee pantry.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
Yeah,
and there is a
Fey
shelf
Starbucks.
that is just labeled like Fey food, do not eat unless you need like
Right. Exactly. No, that's very true. And also like the way I think about it, oh, it's gonna storm. Woo.
Yeah, window behind you is windy and dark.
Oh, look how windy. So the internet, just in case I go down. I love all of you. No.
Oh no.
Don't worry. Amy and Streffen will carry on without me. Someone else, you know.
Yeah, we'll stream. We'll stream without you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Paley will take over as GM if I die.
That sounds great.
It'll all just be vengeance and hating other children.
Hell
A
yeah.
flip flop of vengeance, though. You know, you gotta swing from one side to the other.
Yeah, sometimes no, my 8-year-old is a monster, and I love her dearly. But if I ever mysteriously die, it is definitely like you need to go to. You all cats need to go to her first because.
What was it that she said?
She said she broke something of like that she made for this other kid to get her vengeance because the kid was annoying. And then I said, "Are you going to tell the kid that you broke it on purpose?" And then her response was, "No, I'm going to say I accidentally dropped it because I don't want him to be too sad, just a little fucking sad." Because she's a god. I'm telling you. If I ever wake up, they're like, "Oh, he died peacefully in his sleep. Check my mouth for asphyxiation by pillow." Like it's just like occasionally she'll be like, "I don't think you're gonna live till the time I'm 30." I'm like, "Is that a promise?" Like, are you gonna see that happens? Like, I'm a fucking make sure.
Is that a promise?
Yeah. Kids are
list.
terrifying. So, yes. So. Boom. Yes. So I think there is a little bit of blood. It's old. Like that's the thing. You gotta like nuke it.
I need fresh stuff.
I think it is
the hindrance. The hindrance specifically says I think that it needs to be fresh.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be hungry. You're gonna have to go home, but. They don't mostly because they don't host vampires anymore. Like back in the day, they may have hosted a little bit of vampire and taken it from a willing person, but they don't host vampires no more. As far as
crazy. Why not?
As far as you know, you think you may be the only vampire like working for them in America, and as far as you know, and you're not even a full vampire, but like they will still host. Like the occasional Fey Lord for tea and snacks at the lodge, and so they keep a supply of comfortable cakes and non-perishables, some breads,
coffee cakes.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty much like Hobbit food.
Hobbit food.
It's like rabbit food, but more baked goods. Yeah, so it's like Hobbit
carrot
food.
cake. Not just carrot.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. 11,
so
you got your 11sies.
So Amy will not be staying at the lodge regardless. I think she probably would go back to her place just on the off chance, for whatever reason, she is being monitored and they are trying to look for her, that like she's there and so they're not searching. If Streffen wants to, Streffen's choices are stay at the lodge, go to his own place, or go back with Amy. Which, if he goes to his own place, he'll just need to find his own way because Amy's not going to go to his place until this is resolved.
Yeah. Just because there's so much going on. I think Streffen says that he would rather stick together. He's like, let's just swing by the employee kitchen really fast, and I'll grab a tea cake.
Get a loaf of bread or some shit.
Yeah.
Some of that, what's her face bread? Gladriel bread?
Lembus bread.
Yeah.
Lembus elven bread, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that lumbus bread. That's what Gladriel gave Frodo. And like she was like, take this bread. It was like wrapped in a banana leaf. And she was like,
right, yeah.
She was like, break some off when you're crossing Mordor. Or whatever.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, one bite will feed you for weeks.
It was like, how many did you eat? 3?
I just assumed it was like super fucking dense. Like I just like
I mean, it's probably. Oh, go ahead.
I just cannot stop but thinking of like the fairy toast where it's literally white bread, butter, and sprinkles.
Yeah. Man, we used to do that growing up, except instead of toast, we would roll it into a ball. We would take the bread and then we would roll it into a ball with the butter. So it's like this mound of bread and butter, and then we would roll that in cinnamon sugar and eat it like some sort of forbidden like baked meatball. It was gross.
Our favorite thing was always like a slice of bread with butter and then just sugar on there, and then you broil it to caramelize the sugar.
Oh man, you were fancy. Sometimes
I mean, it's just a Great Depression dessert.
Yeah.
Sometimes we would stop, pause. Is it like from the period of Great Depression or a great dessert for when you have depression?
Why not both?
Yeah.
It is a time period appropriate. Yeah.
Sometimes we would just eat I don't know, bread and mayonnaise.
Oh.
That was our bag. Sometimes, anyway. All right, so.
Oh, hey, Rasp.
Oh, she.
Uh-oh.
I hope they're okay. They looked off. You ever notice when someone like looks? Hey, hello. How are you, friend? Hello. Where did? Oh. Quick, ask a question.
Oh shoot, I wasn't ready. Hey chat. If you had to live off of fairy food for the rest of your life, what kind of fairy food would you choose? Streffen is very much a bread and fruit preserves kind of guy.
Pomegranate's a good answer. Sorry, my garlic confit finished and I had to go get it.
Oh, that is important.
Yeah. That's why I was like panicked and then ran off.
Yeah, sensitive enough to require hurry.
I think it's funny when you like look off, when anyone ever looks off screen and they're like bing, and then you're like what, and then they were just gone. Everyone's like gone.
Blinking and was it. I keep glancing this way because that's where Webb is currently sleeping in his little hammock.
Oh,
it's a good cat.
He's so sweet.
In his wheelbarrow.
So yeah, we're going back to Amy's place together.
Yeah.
You get your fairy food.
Yeah. Hey, how many beds are there at Amy's place?
I was just thinking about it. She probably only has like the one bed. I think we talked about it a little bit. She definitely has her bed. She has a nice couch, but she probably doesn't have a second bed, and the couch is probably not even a pull out. Like it's very likely that the only other kind of like bed she has would be an inflatable one. she is going to take the inflatable bed and let you take her bed, though.
Oh, that's
Oh,
nice.
that's really nice.
Oh.
She's gonna present it as like, I don't want you fucking complaining about your leg in the morning.
Streffin's like, I could sleep on the couch. There's even like an arm that I can put my foot up on, and it'll be, pretty comfy.
And she's like, "Shut up."
Uh-oh.
Oh, no cameras,
Uh-oh.
Ben,
There we go.
no mask, no mask.
Oh, sorry.
there we go.
They just disappeared for a minute. I made a mistake.
Thank you, Cameron.
Yes, thank you. All right. So, what happens? All right, so you sleep. So, remove a fatigue wood.
Thank you, my fatigue way.
Excellente, wunderbar.
Have you seen that lady's fatigued? That is good. It's like figure.
What?
Like figure, but fatigue wood, twig, So you had an hourglass fatigued wood.
Fatigue.
Yes. So, all right. You wake up, and actually, when you wake up, there is a rapping on your door, a very light rapping.
Rapping on on your chamber door.
Yep, rapping on a chamber door, like outside, and it's like brutal light. Boop boop boop, boop boop boop.
Oh,
I think Amy is,
but
I don't know
noticeable.
if she has established her. I don't know if she's normally the early riser. Streffin is the early riser, right?
Yeah.
I do think because she is posted in the living room, even though it is very light, she's on edge enough that it wakes her up. Anyways,
it's like the lightest of tapping. You almost think it's like raining. Sorry for interrupting.
She would look, see if she sees anything before carefully opening the door, like stopping it with her foot, in addition to whatever chain she has on it, kind of thing.
Mm.
You look out the, do you have like a peephole?
Probably has a peephole, yeah.
Nothing in the peephole.
Great. Yeah, that's when she opens the door, foot in the way, barely a crack. Still has a chain lock on it, all that shit.
There is a tiny, you look out, there's nothing there. And so, that's not, you look down, and there is a tiny bipedal gecko standing there, wearing a long, like the coat that sea admirals during the age of the high seas would be wearing, and it's a little stained and crumpled, but it's red. It's got the little epaulets up here on the shoulders. It's got the fancy cuffs, gold
He's
buttons.
The monarch of the sea.
Yep.
The ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Yep. But only one arm is through the sleeve, the other one is sticking out at an odd angle, almost Napoleonish, and it just the sleeve just hangs open, and he's he is hatless though, just so you know. He is not. He doesn't have a buccaneer hat with a feather plume or anything. That would be gaudy. But he's just, that would be too much. And he is hello.
Did you know that 15 minutes could save you?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Hold on. God damn it. I'm glad that's out of the way.
Yep. I have made my HMS Pinafore joke and my Geico joke. That's everything.
He's are you? And then he reaches into his pocket and with then the hand that is not in the coat reaches in, pulls out, and goes, Amy Wars.
Who's asking?
Oh fuck! I didn't even think of his name. Hold on.
I got you.
Hold on. Give me just a second.
You fool.
Sir Joseph Porter.
I think his first name's going to be Alphonse.
Alphonse
Yep.
Corcoran.
Corporal Alphonse Porter.
Corporal, but he's wearing an admiral jacket.
Yeah. Formerly of the Summer Courts, like 15th Fleet.
Taking notes.
Oh yeah, I should write something down.
If it helps, Mr. Brown sent me.
Do you have any proof of that?
He said, if I remember, and I'll quote him, that you are a petulant, spiteful person who probably wouldn't accept my help, but that you need it, and this is as far that he can probably go.
She makes a sucking sound with her teeth, closes the door, and then opens it again, fully unlocked, and says, "Get in."
Oh, thank you.
I think that was probably enough to wake Streffen up,
Oh,
just
yeah.
like the door.
If he's not up already.
Yeah.
It was a late night.
That's fair. God, this art is so cute. He's so cute. I hate that Amy can't appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, folks, join the show Discord if you want to see this photo later.
Yes. Someday I'll be able to pay someone to actually create full art for everybody and not just use AI. Sorry. I understand that it's ethically wrong. But yes, he he doesn't have a hat, but he does take his coat off, and like he is like there's like a vest and gold buttons there, and he's got a
fancy lad.
He's got like those boots that like that like fold down, belt buckle, and like an actual tiny saber, like on his face. So.
Does Streffen recognize this guy when he comes out?
But he was on the Summer Courts.
All right, give me a highs and lows. Do you want high or low?
High.
Oh, it's pouring outside, Ben. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Welcome to the Middle East Coast, my friend.
I recently left East Coast, so I understand.
So it is going to drop 17 degrees between today and tomorrow.
Nice.
And it's all because of this big ass rain that's coming through. It was like 97 degrees, 99 degrees. It's going to be close to 81 tomorrow. That's not exactly 17 degrees. I know the math. But it's close. Yes, you do know Sir Alphonse Porter. I rolled a 5.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think you were ever like compadres with him. You certainly saw him at various like functions and stuff. And if you want to make me a common knowledge roll, I will let you know anything else you want to know, depending on what
important question that has nothing to do with roles. You've described his like jacket, shirt, vest situation a whole lot. Is he wearing pants and shoes and gloves?
Oh yeah, boots and like those black leg linen pants.
Those boots might hurt his poor little feet.
But he's got those boots that the ones with like the weird cuff that like folds down.
The boots with the fur.
No, he doesn't have Uggs. Oh, you want to hear fast? All right, I'm gonna take my union mandated piece of
tangent.
Ben hadn't seen. So I recently learned that Ugg, the term Uggs, right? Uggs boots, yes, is actually that brand has been that name has been copyrighted everywhere except for in Australia, because in Australia the term "ugg" is a fur-lined boot. That's the name for it. It would be like trying to copyright the phrase like sneaker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hold
That's
on.
cool.
I
That's
have to go
wild.
downstairs for a minute. I will be right back.
Good luck.
I just got a term saying there may be some destructive winds. I'll be back soon. I have to
Oh.
go into the
Okay.
basement.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
absolutely.
I'm gonna say be right back. You know that something happened that made probably two like like the late 80s that made him lose favor. Bless me.
Bless you.
Thank you. That it was ungood. Nope. That it was that he did something that it was unbecoming to invite him to events, and so suddenly the all the parties that he used to be at, and you remember him being like funny and pleasant. Perhaps he would get a little too much into the sangria, but for the most part, he was a very like nice person, and or nice magic fey gecko.
Person.
He's not really a gecko, by the way. He just looks like a gecko for television.
Absolutely.
And but yes, he did something he fell out of favor. So, but he looks at you. Do you look the same that you did before, or did you?
Yeah, I think just about.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't have aged during the time that I was there.
Right.
I'm obviously dressed differently because I no longer have to conform to the court fashion.
Yeah. I think he like looks at you and he like turns his head to the side, maybe licks one of his eyeballs with his long tongue, and he goes, "You look awful familiar. Do I know you?"
I believe we have met at parties occasionally during the last century. You are Sir Porter, are you not?
Ah, yes.
I am called Streffen.
And he looks you over, up and down. Fair enough. Well, nice to meet you. Nice to meet all of you. So, Mr. Brown says you're wanting some information.
Quite. I guess Streffen will go and sit down. Did Mr. Brown tell you what information we were looking for?
Oh, I see. Just jumping right in. Well, not gonna offer a drink or a cup of tea or some food for a guy. That's all right. That's
Does this look like a fucking restaurant?
Oh. No, he looks at you and he goes, "No, but you certainly look like a barmaid or two that I have met in my life. Fair enough." He'll walk over.
I'm gonna play love interest right now. No.
Oh my god!
If I had it, if I fucking had it,
Blair.
God, without a question, without a fucking moments of hesitation.
Right? Yeah. It's all about like tall women and tiny guys. That's the that's the movie.
I don't know if you know this about me. I am the kind of queer that really likes amphibians and reptiles. I just think they're really cute.
Fair enough.
Well,
he does.
Somebody post that Wreck-It Ralph shot of Felix looking at the lady. Why can I never remember her name? I'm a bad fan.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That is me, by the way,
I
in reaction.
I
to
was thinking of
character
it
too.
more like what is it? The barbarian lady from the Dungeons and Dragons movie, looking at those
Oh,
halflings.
Oh
That's
yeah.
more what I think
Yeah.
of. Well, he does one of those things then where he runs around the leg of a chair, like whoop, and then up and sits into it
Oh
and
yeah.
gets himself nice and comfy. And so he says like, um, oh, what does he say? He says, hold on, I just unplugged my headphones again. Boop.
Oh.
Someday I won't do that because chords are stupid. And so he sits down and he gets real comfortable. He nestles in. He says, well, if there's not going to be any refreshments, I suppose, then we'll get right to what we're talking about. I hear you want to do some sort of jailbreak.
What precisely has Mr. Brown told you?
And he like does one of these with his tongue and like pushes like smooths it.
Slicks back
Yeah, smooths, but
nails.
like yeah, his non-particular his non-hair. He goes, oh, from what I understand, you want to break in to the Central Park prison.
And this is something you can assist with?
My lady, of course I can.
God, her frown deepens so much at the my lady. Like she's she has had a sour look on her face the entire time. I don't think she reacted to his response to the comment like I did at all. I think she's just like fucking water off the back of a duck. But the my lady, she's just like
He pulls at his lapel. He like pulls at his lapels, like, and he's like, "Oh no!" He pulls at his vest. He like hooks a. I forgot he took off his big coat and hung it. He's like on like a loose nail, like that's like on, he hooks his thumbs into his vest, and he goes, "I am one of the few people who ever successfully freed themselves from the bondage of that such a place."
and how did you manage to do that?
Oh, trade secret, I'm afraid.
Yes, see, I'm not necessarily willing to blindly trust in somebody who's unwilling to share at least some concept of what they're able to do. You can say that you did it all you like, but unless you have proof, I have no reason to believe you. Or trust you, for that matter. Mr. Brown be damned.
And he turns to you, Steph, and he goes, "She always liked us. Just a big old stick up to patoot."
Oh my god, I just started water. I've been waiting for somebody to ask that.
I was going to say no, but not always. No. Only
Don't lie.
when only when matters are stressful,
Oh,
which is most of the time.
yeah,
So
that seems fair. I could suggest a good hemorrhoid cream if she needs one for help. Just to smooth out the chafing. And then he said, I was a resident of said prison. As a favor between the bastion and the courts, for a few decades. And during that time, while I was a model prisoner, I learned the ways of the and schedules of the guards, the locations, etc., weaknesses and awards. But and if we're going to be honest, many of these have probably been changed since my absconding. And he like smiles, and there's like he actually has like a gold tooth.
of course he does.
And
Just the one tooth.
just one golden. I mean, he is like he's got a mouthful of like awkward of like real teeth, but like also one gold tooth. And he says, "So, but there's something that many people don't know, and that's that the prison's got a back door."
What time frame were you in there? When did you get out?
Recently enough to enjoy that delightful film by that. Oh God, what film is he going to say that he loved? Hold on.
The Wizard of Oz.
No,
Rango.
Yeah, fucking Rango. No.
God. That movie's a fucking fever dream. Holy shit.
I watched it once. I think that was enough.
Okay. Amy's asking this to determine if there would be any overlap in prisoner in his presence there and the presence of the individual that we're interested in.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He says, I missed the first. He says, well, I was in long enough to miss the first Blade Runner film. Although I have gone back and watched it on VHS. Ridley Scott, what a director. But I was out long in just enough time to see the 2049. The original it was not, but Jared Leto can get it.
I hate this guy. I hate this guy even that much more.
Wow.
Way to establish a villain.
Brilliant.
2017. It's exactly 5 years. From 2022. What year are we? What year is this set? Is it 2020, 2021?
I've always said 2020X. I've been indeterminate 20 and 20.
Okay.
Okay, well, it needs to be at least determined enough to know if there was overlap or not.
Yes, there is enough overlap. There would maybe be.
Okay.
Okay.
God. So, what do we, out of character, what do we know about this, this prison? Like, we know it's high profile, big secretive, right?
Mm-hmm. It's run by the Bastion.
It's run by the Bastion. It's in Central Park.
Apparently, it has. They hold prisoners for other people.
Mm-hmm.
You know that now.
Yeah.
And
according to my notes, the prison is older than Central Park itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was built with help from many organizations, including the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
And it uses the ley line convergence there as part of like powering defenses,
it's security, empowering and shit.
Security or whatever.
Okay. How aware of you were how aware were you of new inmates?
Oh, I was a man around town. I knew everything.
How aware were you of... Jackie is trying to figure out how to phrase this. Amy would not stutter like this. Outside occurrences.
I keep my ear to the ground. I'd hear the occasional gossip. If it was big enough, would come to my ear.
I think Amy smiles, but it's not a friendly one. It's not meant to be threatening. It's meant to just kind of like... A smart person would understand the direction of the conversation and the specific ask when he sees her teeth.
Oh, that's... well, you're one of them.
Is that a problem?
For me, no. No,
Good.
I've had my share of rolls in the hay with enough creatures that doesn't bother me with nothing.
He's so little.
It's so
Sorry.
Doesn't mean he can't fuck. Corporal
Just put some
Alphonse
elbow
Porter
grease into it.
fucks. Amy is unfazed by the crass nates of this
yeah.
little guy. She's just like, great.
I think
Wonderful.
Streffen just
So
keeps
happy
on
for
thinking,
you.
I used to find this guy funny.
Yeah.
Wow, jail has really changed him.
I think you're more like, wait, are we more aware of the fact that sexism, misogyny, and like being a gross sex like fiend has not aged well? Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Streffen's like, have I grown?
is this maturity?
God. Okay. Wait. Here's my tangent for the session. Paxton.
Uh-huh.
Would Streffen have unintentionally practiced in those kinds of jokes? And how many times do you think it took Amy calling him out for his shit for him to correct?
Oh gosh.
Because I don't want to make that character decision for you, but I think it would be very funny if Amy was like, fucking don't. Just like
So,
shut it
like,
down.
Gosh, that is such a complicated question because of all of the factors involved, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he is from an earlier time, as it were, but also while he was in the Fae, a lot of the beings there treated him as basically a non-entity. He was a tool to be used for his abilities. And so he like got out of the practice of having enough opinions to try to be funny. And so he probably just didn't talk a lot for the first couple of years. And just like picked up stuff about the way that the world has changed. And so I don't think he has said anything.
Okay.
I think that there is definitely space for Amy to have called him out on some of his older fashioned habits that like lean on some like
Preconceived notions?
preconceived notions and like quiet misogyny stuff. Like one time he probably tried to hold her umbrella and she like punched him out. Right?
He tried to what?
He tried to like hold an umbrella over the two of you. Like stuff like that.
I don't know if she
like-
would have punched him over a chivalrous thing like that. I think she would have been like, I don't fucking need your help, and then walked into the rain.
Oh, sorry. I'm imagining that maybe it was your umbrella, though.
Oh, well.
Which Amy would want to hold on to.
If he had grabbed for her umbrella, he would have gotten smacked, yeah.
Perhaps referred to her.
But it probably would have been like a bap on the hand, kind of like, don't fucking touch it.
Perhaps refer to you as a wench just once.
Oh my God. What ho, wench? Okay. Back to the conversation. So sorry about that side tangent. You seem like a smart enough man to understand what I'm trying to get at. When I'm asking about time frames and your awareness of the ins and outs.
Oh. All right, let me find that voice. I lost it. He goes, well, I know what you're getting at. But I come from a group of people who we love our word games. We love the twist of the tongue, as it were. And,
I'm sure you do.
And he licks his eyeball again.
It's just like...
Yeah. And then like moistens it again, and he just says, so why don't you come out and say it to my, even Stevens? Put your cards
We're
on
look-
the deck, as it were. What are you asking?
Oh, on the deck, not on the deck. Gotcha. The deck of the ship, not on the deck of cards.
Yeah. How the fuck would she phrase the question?
Ooh, I've got one. If
Please.
I think Streffen would say, we're looking for a word of a family member.
Oh no. That
Or-
would get a look from Amy.
Or maybe it wouldn't be family member. He would be someone with a you might call it a family resemblance.
Jesus, that's
that
even
still
worse.
gets a look from Amy.
And he
Really?
Said, and he said,
Okay.
Yes.
And he says, "Oh, family, yours or hers?"
He would have gestured toward her.
Oh, let's take a look at. No offense, but when you, how would he put it without like he'd say, "No offense to you." But sometimes it's hard for a person to see past a few sharp teeth, if you understand my gist. But I can't.
So you make a habit of staring at people's mouths.
He's not going to take the bait. No, he goes, only when they've got pretty ones. And then he says,
Just fucking sneering at this point.
and he says,
What a slimy little toad. Phil Nutter wishes.
Yeah. And he just says, fair enough.
He's more like Chappie.
Yeah, just says, listen, here, my friend. He's like, listen, there were a handful of high-profile bloodsuckers that rolled in about that time. Had the whole. I went back and watched that Silence of the Lambs movie, but they had the whole Hannibal Lecter thing. Rune encrusted mouth guards strapped to those doohickeys that you move fridges with.
Dolly?
Yeah. Who you calling Dolly, doll?
Certainly not you. Don't ever call me doll again.
Oh. Remember what I said about that stick, Mr. Streffen.
I think at this point, Amy leans on the table and it's just like, I assure you, my bite is worse than my bark.
All right. I can see that we're done with our tete-a-tete, as it were. Fair enough. So, let's get to our order. You want in, or I can get you in. I owe Brown a favor, so we'll at least be square-shoes with him.
Must be a pretty big favor.
You have no idea.
I mean, it's a matter of scale, so.
Oh, that's gosh. Oh, I like you way more than her.
It's usually how it goes.
Yeah. So.
Trying to think, she had one more question that she would have asked.
Well, I mean, there's a specific place where they have been keeping them on ice, so to speak, and I was never allowed to them. I'd never even bothered to hand over there, so I can get you in, but I'm not going to go any far. Like, I'm not going into that wing, if it were, for my whole life.
Okay, that answered the question that I was trying to formulate. I'm taking notes. Hang on.
Let's see.
Right, so what's the plan? What's the deal? How do we go about this?
I don't know what's the plan and what's the deal.
You're the one coming to us with the information.
I'm the one who. All I know is I'm supposed to take you to the door that's not quite as well guarded as the front one. After that, we have some deal making. Am I drawing you something on a bar napkin? Or are you looking for a more personal guide?
I don't know if I want to have any extended contact with you, so we're going to keep it to a minimum.
Oh, that's fair.
She's going to step away without excusing herself and come back with like a roll of parchment paper and a pencil and like place it in front of him and be like, if you would be so kind as to draw some sort of rudimentary map to indicate the direction that we need to go to reach the wing that you were too much of a pussy to go into.
Oh.
She's spicy.
Yeah. So he says, "Oh, now we're talking about reproductive organs, are we? I didn't realize we had opened that door." No, he jumps to the table and picks up the pencil. He says, "So after the door, he says, you're going to, what did he say? He like licks his thumb and like looks at you and then looks at Paxton. Does one of these thingies. All right. And then like scribbles something and then does something and like looks at you again and looks down. He says, well, the first thing you have to understand is you can't go in looking the way you're looking. Or, rather, you can't go in as big as you are. So, how do you feel about 6 inches?
I, Jackie, need to recover from the innuendo.
Oh, man. The struggle to not just go there immediately.
We all see it. The door is right there. Oh my god. Amy just like deadpan stares at him. Like there's no recognition, no acknowledgement, no reaction.
It's a tiny door. That's why it's
no,
not
I
as
got
guarded.
that. Difficult to call it a fucking door when it's.
Are you sizist? Are you saying that little people can't use doors?
What I'm trying to understand is why they have an entirely separate entrance of that size.
For people like me.
And why they would take the time. God, I'm
Why
losing
would
this accent.
Why would they take
I can't hear
this
myself
time?
with these. Why they would take the fucking time to build it, give it a door, and then not put gods in front of it.
No. You misheard what I said.
Less gods, then.
Less gods, yes. And mostly, the size of it is the thing that keeps it a bit impenetrable. And as for why they built it, not all of us are big like you. Thank God.
Streffen is just like, I thought I read something about a whole, like, we don't need separate entrances for different kinds of people anymore. And I generally agree with that statement.
It's an old ass fucking building, isn't it?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I guess this. If the prison was built before, anyway.
My brain is auto-completed your sentences before we fixed racism.
Yes, because it is fixed in this
reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I say playing a character that deals with a lot of like negative responses because of her lineage and everything.
Yeah.
Not the same thing, not the point.
All right.
But
I'm
anyway,
sure we can find a solution to that problem.
He pulls a small sack of off his belt, and he like puts it down, and you see like a little twinkling of golden dust come out of it. Oh, well, I've got your solution. I told you. I am intimately familiar with the workings of this place, and I owe Mr. Brown a favor. I can definitely help you with ingress. And he starts drawing. So after the tiny door, you'll have to stay tiny for a little bit longer. And then, obviously, there's the shift in hallways, which you won't know the timing of, but I can do my best. And he like tip taps and he like writes some stuff down. After the shifting hallways, you come to the room of portals, as in portcullises. You know what I'm saying? Door frames. And you're going to. And he like licks his finger and thinks for a minute. Oh, fifth one from the ceiling. Yep. And he writes down a little bit more. Now, this is where it gets tricky. All of this is old stuff. New. Once you go through the door, fifth from the ceiling, don't forget now. This is the updated wing. The updated wing has all them motion sensors and heat sensors and stuff, but I'm gonna leave that one to you. Look, if you can move fast enough, your size will at least help a little bit. And then he like draws a bunch of different left, right, forward, up them stairs, down those ones, involves your uncle.
A-B start.
A-B start, and you're there. But, and then he like double underlines something. He's like, that's the door to them. And yes, I would in fact say that a person of my size, certainly, if we're going to use the idea of a female's anatomy to suggest fear, although I am surprised with two enlightened people as yourself to suggest anything is a quote unquote weaker sex.
Don't need a lesson on sexism from a gecko that was just talking about how you laid with many sort of women. Like, I don't.
He said,
a roll in the hay with.
Yeah, no, with many sorts. He didn't say, he says, but yes, I was a bit too afraid to go in there. That's a wing that nobody goes into, and very few come out of. But good luck.
Sorry, I just started thinking about a meme. Sorry.
All right. And do you have any ideas for extraction?
Egress. We haven't talked about my payment, if then.
Other than the debt that you owe to Mr. Brown?
Oh, I'm getting you in. I didn't say he didn't ask for nothing about getting people out.
Amateur.
No, I just rolled a 4. A basic success.
Right. But it feels like Mr. Brown wouldn't have excluded that on purpose. Because the point was to be able to continue to use us as assets afterward.
Okay.
Regardless, though,
Right.
Streffen says, well then, perhaps we should start negotiations.
Oh, I love negotiations. Go ahead and give me a roll. Let's see. Let's see that persuasion roll.
Oh boy. All right. I've got my -2 from my wounds.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh no.
Dice hit a couple of times there for Ben.
I've got some bennies. Let's spend a 1. Oh, that's an ace. That adds up to only a 5. Even with my, or after my -2. I can spend another Benjamin. There's an ace. Exactly the same roll. I only got
What'd you get?
a 5.
Oh, he got a 19.
Good God.
I got 3 aces and a 1. So he says, oh well, then I think you haggle for a minute, and it is just he is so much better at it than you are. Like,
Yeah.
so much better.
Well, and he's negotiating from a position of strength.
Yeah, absolutely. And so meanwhile, so basically, he comes down. It comes down to this: a favor from both of you to be named better later, and you know that fairy favors are big deals. You especially, Streffen, or a pint of blood from both of you right now.
Good Lord. That's so much blood.
It's so much blood.
Also, like, what he could do with your blood.
That's so concerning.
Like he could sell that to any, like, excluding personal use, right? He could sell that to any number of unscrupulous individuals.
It's our biomaterial. That's so dangerous. Oh God.
He got a 19.
You rolled so well. No, you rolled well, which is why I'm not fighting it, because it makes sense that he's like, oh no. I have all the power. This is what you're going to give me. It tracks. I think Amy is like, I'll do the favor, but you need to be aware that if this situation isn't handled correctly, if I don't do what I need to do, I will die.
Well, that's pretty much a given.
No, I don't think you understand the intensity of my meaning. This isn't just a matter of getting in, getting out, and I have to do that correctly. There are established expectations that if I don't meet them, I will die. I'm gonna do my fucking damnedest to meet them because I don't want to fucking die. But if I do fucking die, you're gonna lose out on your favor. And I want you to be aware of that so you don't come back and try to give Streffen any bullshit.
All right, then. Fair enough. If she, and he turns to you, if she dies, I want 2 favors from you.
No. You can have 1 favor from each of us.
You said 1 favor each. You're gonna get my favor as long as I'm able to give it. And like I said, I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that I do live. So I should be able to give it. I'm just trying to have open communication here.
This way, we can be sure that we're getting all the help that you can give for this.
You know, because your reward is based on it too.
Besides, what a return on investment. You pay back a favor to Mr. Brown and get a favor from 2 people such as us.
That is quite an investment.
It's a pretty good deal.
I don't know if my adventure card works in this way, but I'd like to try to play it to help with this, final step in the situation.
What's your adventure?
And if I tell you what it is and you're like, no, I don't think it'll apply, I'll keep it and save it for later.
Okay.
So I have the peace adventure card. It's script description, whatever the fuck, is play to improve the initial attitude of an individual or group that 1 level using the reaction table in the Savage Worlds. I know it's not like an initial attitude; it's on the back end kind of deal.
No, you
and she.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, she hasn't had the best attitude, so it's probably not been a solid thing at all. But I think one thing that I can say for Amy is that, very generally speaking, her emotions are earnest. She is earnestly pissed off just about all the time. So when she is taking this time to be like, you are now being made aware of this thing, it's not to try to like do a gotcha. It's to make you're not gonna step on the fucking Wi-Fi button there, buddy. It's to make sure.
Do it.
Web. Mwah. It's genuinely to make sure that like all parties are on the same level, so he doesn't end up feeling hoodwinked later on. If it goes south for some reason. Because mechanically, all it does is it like ingratiates them a tiny little bit more.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me. No, you play it, and I'll count it as yours. Like,
thank you.
I think that's a pretty powerful card, actually. So yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna save it for Bastion stuff, but I think this is important.
Yeah. So he says, he like slaps the table, done, and spits into his palm, and he holds it out.
Look at it so disdainfully. I'm not gonna touch your spit. That's disgusting.
We shake hands or there's no deal, and you'll just be out.
Clean your hand and then we'll shake it.
So he licks his hand with his tongue.
Oh my!
She goes and gets a wet wipe and hands it to them and says, "Try again."
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's a lady now, ain't she? And like wipes his hands and says, "It's not as binding without the spittle."
That was Jackie's reaction. Just
Yeah.
And he shakes his hand. He shakes your hand.
Yeah,
Offers
shake his hand.
Do we do like one of these? Where we're just like crossed hands, shaking with each other, like, yes, good.
Yeah. All right. Now, let's go break into something. And that's what we're going to call it for today.
Oh, God. Okay.
Lovely.
Okay, I'm taking some quick notes. Lovely.
Lovely.
Because we've just hit the 3-hour mark.
Oh, good golly.
And I know some of that mark was me hiding in my basement. And
probably a good hour of it was dealing with extraneous stuff.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Oh, it's not your fault.
There was a lot of...
You can't control the weather.
Yeah, there was a lot of extraneous this time. Power cords and people and the weather and...
Extraneous. That's a good band name. That's my favorite band.
That's such a good goof.
Anyway, actually, I'm going to put that one in my list. I think I love a good one-word band name.
Like Cher and Madonna. And Muse.
And
all right. Well,
Claw.
Now I need someone to tell me about all those things that I gave you, because I certainly made a lot of what's happening up, so I'll have to remember.
I wrote things down.
Okay, good.
Okay, there's a VOD.
Because I definitely made it
that
up.
too.
Yes, so let's extronosaurus ourselves. Like outroed it ourselves.
Paxton, you first.
Yeah. Hello. I am Paxton. Today I played Streffen. If you want more of me, you can find me. Let me see. I am on the website formerly known as Twitter at sentimental_boy for at least a little while longer. I am in a couple of other actual play projects, including DJ's podcast, Applied Materials, and in Hereafter, which is in the Orpheus Protocol bonus content. You can also find me running a short campaign of Gravemire on the Roll for That YouTube channel.
Oh, fun.
And who knows what other projects might be in the pipeline for the future.
The future is ahead of us.
The future is now.
The future is
Hi, bye.
That's it. That's
My
what
name's
you...
Jack.
Oh.
I've been Jackie. I've been playing Amy. You can occasionally find me on the Twitters at Good Ship Sarcasm. My profile pic is the Strawberrio. You will know it when you see it.
It's so good.
Um,
It took me forever.
Thank you.
I
I made it
learned-
myself.
I just learned what it meant the other day.
But then you saw it and you were like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
It makes perfect. It's like when Jackie says, "You'll know." You'll know.
You'll know. Yeah. More often, though, I am found on various actual play podcast discords, including but not limited to Liber Novus, Orpheus, Tabletop Squad, A Night of Shreds and Patches, Sounds Like Crows, and my personal favorite, RPG for You and Me. Gotta plug. Always be plugging.
KVP.
And yeah, they're good people over there. I like
Very
everyone.
good people.
I
Ali and
like
Kira
a lot.
are so wonderful.
I mean, basically, the people involved in all of those things are all lovely people.
Factual.
Factual. Some of them have been in our chat, and we're talking to them right now as we are. It doesn't, whatever. It's time is a.
Some of
circle.
them played with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We are the Ouroboros of role playing games. We eat our tails. For
We're just that gif of a bunch of people of the same like 5 dudes throwing water at each other. Do you know the trading water
Yes.
bottle gif?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just the AP community.
We're all just right. We're just Spider-Mans pointing at each other. Hey, you're great. You're great too. I love your stuff. I love your work too. Everyone gets congratulations. I'm Ben Hatton, and I have been the GM for this session and all sessions until someone says, "Hey Ben, you want to be?" And I'll be like, "Blah blah blah blah."
Hey Ben, you ready to renew me?
And that's
Oh.
and then, and other than that, I'm just thanks for listening. It is always nice when people come, not listening, watching. I do love it when people all come and watch this, because you don't have to spend 3 hours with us. You don't have to spend a minute with us, and yet you do, and it's awesome. Thanks. And you can find me on Discords, because I'm not on any social media, evil or otherwise. I'm just on Discords. You can find me on this Discord or other Discords. There's also an email for this stream. I think it's Liber Novus Game at Gmail, but so email if you want to email, like, not personally or nothing, but all right. Have a lovely
We
time.
should start tumbling actively. Anyway,
I haven't tumbled for this. I just haven't tumbled yet. There's been no tumbling. All right. Oh, and it's on YouTube's. It is on the you can catch up on this on the YouTube's at Liber Novus Game at YouTube's.
yes.
Yes. I should really make up something for this. Anyway, goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
We'll make a macro eventually. Bye.
Bye.